once I met some hams, and they did a little coaching for me, and I was able to pass the code test. So now I'm a general, and I'm having fun with the hobby, being having the general privileges here on HF. Let's see. We've got K3YFX. This is N1UAI for ID in Southern Connecticut.
K3YFX for ID, and I got you N1U Alpha India, and yeah, I still do the 11 meter here and there in my vehicle, whatnot. I didn't get my first CB till 77, 78. It was the first year for the 40 channel radio.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I was even before that actually. I only had a 23 channel rig. Mine was a Tram Diamond 40, I believe, which was a pretty popular rig back then.
I'm not counting the Radio Shack. It was a 23 channel receiver / AM radio, but it would only transmit on channel 14. I think that was like 75, 76.
Oh, now that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that one. But, yeah, sounds like something Radio Shack would put out. Channel 14 was a very popular walkie-talkie frequency, too. And I had a buddy of mine lived up the street from me when we were kids. We were probably 12 years old. And his father was a trucker. And he brought home a couple of walkie-talkies. And it was on channel 14, and boy, did we have a blast with those. And when I heard the local, not hams, but local CBers in the area, they used to talk out to Long Island, and I was like, oh God, I want to get on there. I want to get on the air and talk to these guys. So I eventually got a nice CB rig, and I set up a base station, and I got hooked on the hobby. And again, like most hams, we graduated up to the ham frequencies. Back over to you.
It's funny you say that, because I was into the radios way back in the 70s. Like I said, I failed the written test, the novice test, back in the mid to late 70s. Then got into TVs the late 70s, and just recently, last year, my son bought this UV5R, this Baofeng. He goes, Dad, what can I do with this? Granted, he's in his 30s. I said, not much, hold on. So I got my GMRS license and said, here, now you have a call sign to legally use the radio. Then fast forward another year, a buddy of mine at work, GMRS, and it's like, well, we need to get our ham ticket. Okay. So we studied. He got his. A week or so later, I went and got mine.
Okay. Roger on that. GMRS, that's pretty cool too. Yeah, I have, there's a GMRS repeater I listen to out on Long Island, which is on the other side of Long Island Sound from me. And those guys are pretty interesting to listen to. So you don't have to take a test or anything. You just give them $50 or something, and you're good for so many years. But it's, they're radio guys, and they like to chat on the radio, and it's a good little system there. They got a repeater going, and it's a pretty cool thing. I probably would have got into that if I didn't get into ham radio.
GMRS is fairly active around here. We have several local repeaters. I don't want to say several local, but there's repeaters around here. The repeater I usually talk on, I can hit from 30 miles with a handheld. And I don't know how I can do it, but I'm just like in the valley, and it's going straight up the valley. We have a 2 meter, 70 centimeter DMR out here. So we have an active UHF, VHF area, for lack of better terms. Back to you.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's good to, good to have some radio contacts locally to you. Because when I moved out here about a year and a couple of months ago, it was very, very few repeaters that I was able to hear. It was a lot different from where I moved from. I lived on the other side of Connecticut, and over there, geez, I mean, there was all kinds of repeaters and guys on simplex, and that's 2 meter simplex. And I just missed that being out here. But eventually I was able to pick up a few repeaters and throw them in the memory, and bring them in my mobile, call CQ, and pick up a conversation or two while I'm doing some errands out here. So I'm trying to raise some cane on the frequencies out here in eastern Connecticut, whereas in western Connecticut it was pretty busy. Back over to you, sir.
Yeah, I just thought of it. I'm getting old, well, not as old, no offense, not as old as you. I'll be 60 in June. When I said earlier about being living in Longmeadow, Massachusetts back around 77, 78, 79, that is, what is it, 90, 91 that comes up from Enfield, and then you have Enfield, Connecticut, Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and Springfield, Massachusetts. So Enfield, Connecticut bordered with Longmeadow, and Longmeadow was in the border of Springfield.
Yep, I don't do much traveling up north, but yeah, those are all common cities. Familiar, I'm familiar with the names. I've maybe gone through them once or twice. Once in a while, we went up to a game up in Boston, Massachusetts, to see the Red Sox. I had a cousin that played on the Boston Red Sox years and years ago. He was the guy that got hit in the eye. His name was Tony Canigliaro, and his season was his career was lost by getting hit in the head with a pitch. But anyways, we go up to. My wife is a big Red Sox fan, so we've gone up to Boston a few times, and I believe it's I-91 that goes up north, that goes up to from Hartford and goes up into Massachusetts. So I think it's I-91 that you were talking about. And also 95 goes that way too.
And now that you said that, if I remember correctly, 91 and 95 split, for lack of better terms, around New Haven, where 91 goes north towards Enfield, Connecticut, Springfield, Massachusetts, and 95 goes to east and around the coast up towards Boston.
Yep, you are absolutely right on that. Yeah, we're not too far. We're about a half hour from that intersection in New Haven. So, yeah, they got the new bridge there. It used to be called, the Q Bridge, but now it's called something Memorial Bridge. Now I can't even remember, but it's a really nice looking bridge now. They redid the whole thing, and at night they have it colored. It's either red or blue or red, white, and blue. It's really a cool looking bridge there on I-95 in New Haven.
Well, I haven't been anywhere near there since like 78, 79.
Yep. Well, this bridge was done, I'd say maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Like I said, I haven't traveled down this way too much, but yeah, I can't remember the year that this bridge was put up, but it really needed it because the old bridge was pretty much falling apart. So it's a pleasure to drive over the new bridge nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably is now. It's just like being born and raised in Philadelphia, and I'm not into big cities anymore. I've been back east since 2004. I live in where I live in Johnstown. It's rural, but it's not rural. But it's a slower pace, more mellow area, and I'm on a hill where I can do what I want.
Yeah, but how high is your hill? What's your elevation? I'm about, when I checked my GPS, I did an elevation thing on there, and I'm about 110 to 120 feet above sea level.
The house is about 1,667 feet ASL. The garage where I'm sitting right now is probably about 1,670 ASL above sea level.
Wow, yeah, you're way up there. Yes, sir. Yep, but I'm like I said, I'm right near the coast. I'm about 3 miles away from the shoreline here. East Old Lyme is right on the Long Island